It's time. It's time to change the engine in the mighty Jeep. Here's our donor engine over here. It's a 50,000 miles on this engine. Came out of a 2003 Rubicon that was rolled while four-wheeling. So if you're thinking about four-wheeling and you are a person who should not be four-wheeling, that was the case here. Poor people. Anyway, on this particular engine in this Jeep, it doesn't actually have a lot of miles on it. And these engines, as most of you know, are pretty well indestructible. Really, they have a great reputation. They're basically a tractor motor, but it was neglected and abused. This Jeep at one time was owned by some high school kid who took it out and floored it and abused it out in the mud holes and crap all the time, and then finally got it in some deep enough water that it inhaled some. The rod bearings, I would say, actually, let me think. It's probably a rod bearing or two. No good. Very noisy, very clunky. And also, the exhaust manifold is cracked. Yeah, can you see that crack? Look at that. That's a new manifold too, which that's very common. These Jeeps, they had cracking manifolds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull this engine out. As a matter of fact, why don't you I'll start it, and let's see if we can hear how bad it sounds. What you hear right now is just the exhaust leak. You can't hear the engine knocking because it's like 50 some degrees here and the oil's cold. I have straight 50 weight oil in here because it knocks. You can kind of hear it knocking. Once the oil gets hot, it'll really knock. And the exhaust leak goes away. It's a trade-off. Very interesting. All right. So, go ahead and shut it off. Now, so anyway, like I was saying, had a little interruption there. Jeep's had a lot of work done. We've got what did I put in there? 488 gears. It's a 3-speed automatic transmission. We've got slip yoke eliminator, custom CV shaft, and what else? The interior's been replaced. Got a winch, these bumpers, these trucky lights, truck light. I can't remember what they're called. I don't know. Can't remember it all. So anyway, we've got our donor engine here. Our solution to the never-ending manifold cracking problem is a BBK. Stainless header that I wrapped in fiberglass tape, a cloth. The reason why I wrapped it was because this Jeep, you know, I live in Texas, so you're in stop and go traffic, you're sitting at a light, your air conditioner quits working. I believe it quits working because there's just too much heat in here. Now, one of the other solutions to that is I have a custom radiator. It's an aluminum radiator with electric fan and thermostat. That's what's in this box. We're going to end up putting that in. So that's going to help our airflow across the condenser. However, the other problem is the fuel rail, the fuel will boil from the heat that rises up from the header or manifold currently. But if you stop and turn it off and go in the gas station or something like that, you might come back out and now it's got to crank a little while to start, and then when it does start, it's missing and sputtering, and that's because your fuel is boiling in the rail. Jeep actually knew about that problem, and they came out with a service bulletin, and the service bulletin was extremely lame. But the service bulletin was to go and take aluminum foil. Almost like they already did it on this. But to wrap the injectors in aluminum foil as a heat shield. Anyway, I wasn't going to do that. It wasn't that big a deal. I don't drive this thing that much. Trying to think, have I ever changed a Jeep engine? I don't think I have. Well, actually, I helped my buddy take his out one time, but he didn't go back in with the straight six. Went back with the V8. I considered doing that, but the juice just ain't worth the squeeze to me. It's a lot of work, and I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. To me. You'd be better off to put a good power plant in here and just put a supercharger on it. It's the same amount of money, maybe even a little cheaper and a whole lot less work. But I don't have any plans to do any of that. We're just going to remove and replace. So, let's get started. All right, so while that's draining, just look, you see all the oil, front crank seal leaking. See all the oil on the bottom of the oil pan? There you go. I mean, not that that really is, I mean, if that was the only thing wrong with it, who cares? But, just saying, while we're standing here waiting, we'll have a look at everything. So we got our catalytic converters, and we come across here. There's our muffler. Oil leaking. Will be nice for all these oil leaks to be gone. We'll probably cut the pipe. Actually, what will I do here? Let's think about this. Well, no, we'll just disconnect it. We're gonna reuse all that same pipe. Oh, there's a PSC gearbox, big bore setup. I have the have a power steering pump, PSC steering pump somewhere. I thought. Oh boy. Tell you what, I know I ordered the steering pump. Ah, there it is. The steering pump, steering fluid. That's an old factory steering pump. That is the intake that was on this engine. The corner of it is cracked somewhere. Oh yeah, see it? Right there. Broken. I mean, this thing been sitting in my shop for a year. I'm just now getting around to this mess. Guess it'll be another year before the radiator's done draining. I should have just pulled it outside and just dumped it on the ground. It would have been faster. But, I mean, I wasn't in a hurry over the last year. No sense getting in a hurry now. All right. Well, we're gonna let this drain, and then after that we will lower it back down. We'll remove the battery, start taking junk off of it, and get the radiator out. The plan is to pull the engine. I'm going to leave the condenser in place. I'll put a piece of wood in front of it to protect it, and I'm going to pull the engine out without removing the front grille. Now, I'm an aircraft mechanic and I've been working on stuff for a long time, but I ain't no expert and I don't know everything. The thing is, though, you learn by doing. It's okay not to know something, and there's a lot of people that I've got online, you know, a while back, and I think I remember seeing a YouTube video or more than one where everybody said you can't remove the engine with the grill in place. I think that's not true, and we're gonna find out. So I don't know. Maybe I will wish that I removed the grill, and maybe before it's all over, I will remove the grill. But my plan of attack is leaving the grill in place. That will be next year, whenever the antifreeze is done draining.